Hello students, let us start our discussion about the concept of potential energy. As we know that when anybody says that the term potential, then one's mind comes about the ability, the capacity to perform some action. And potential energy can also be provides a particular sense. That means the total energy stored in any object. Like as if we talk about a bow arrow system, then if we stretch the thread of a bow by applying an arrow on it, then the total energy stored in the thread of the bow is known as potential energy. And if such type of arrow is released from the bow, then the energy stored in the thread of the bow is transferred to the arrow placed on the bow, and by obtaining that energy, the arrow begins its motion and comes and also takes some kinetic energy. It means in this case, the potential energy of the thread of the bow is transferred to as the kinetic energy in the arrow. Similarly, if we talk about a gulail, then if we stretch the thread of that gulail by taking some piece of stone in the middle of that, then when we released that, then the potential energy stored in the rubber of that gulail is transferred to that stone in the form of kinetic energy. So one's mind can always become to understand about the potential as the capacity or ability to do some work. And if you talk about the crust of our earth, then we know that there are many fluctuations and dislocations on the surface of earth, and these can be classified with the help of the fault lines. When we talk about these fault lines, then we have found that these fault lines possess a lot energy of or enormous amount of energy in the form of potential. So when these lines are readjusted to each other, then earthquake occurs. It means the vibration in the surface of earth that has a very large amount of energy. Okay, so we can see that potential energy, that can be assumed that the ability or capacity are as some in the form of stored energy by which we can do or we can perform some work. Now, if we talk about the gravitational potential energy and also simple potential energy, then we can say or we can define the potential energy as the energy stored in any object by its configuration or its dimensional physical condition. Suppose that if any object changes its position, it means the energy stored in that object. But when the object regains its original shape, then the energy stored in that object transfers to another form of energy. Like as in the example of bow, gulail, earthquake, readjust of fault line of the earth crust. So all these gives us an idea that potential energy stored in any object is just like to the energy stored in any object by its configuration. If the configuration of any object changes, then the potential energy stored in that object will also changes. So now this is all about the potential energy. Now let us come to define what is the gravitational potential energy. As we know that gravitational force is a conservative force. And what is conservative force? A conservative force is that force which can be described as the negative of the derivative of any scalar quantity. And in the case of gravitational force, we can express is like that, the conservative force. That is gravitational force. So the gravitational force is a conservative force, and such type of force can be defined as the negative of the derivative of the scalar quantity, like as potential energy. So this is the definition of the conservative force. And some characteristics also stored in the conservative force, like that if we do some work with the help of this conservative force, then the work done will depend only on the position of the object during displacing. It means when any object displacing from one position to another position, say from A to B position, then if we take a particular path to displacing the object from A to B by ACB, suppose that, and one another can take the path ADB, that is a straight line path, and third person can take a path AEB. So in all cases the total amount of work done is always constant. It means the work done depend only on the initial and final position of the object. It means the total change in the kinetic energy and also total change in the potential energy, it does not depend on the path by which the work is done. So if such type of work is done by some external force, then that type of force is considered as conservative force. It means if work is done under conservative force, then the such type of work done depends only on the initial and final position by displacing any object. It does not depend the intermediate position of the object. It means by which path we can take the object from one place to another. Okay, so this is a particular concept related to conservative force. From here we can define the potential energy like this. The negative of the potential energy can be expressed as the product of this fx dot dx. Okay, so here we have found that the change in the d of Vx, so change in the potential energy, the negative of the change in the potential energy is equivalent to the amount of work done by this conservative force. And as we know that the amount of this conservative force is also equivalent to the amount of the change in kinetic energy. It means this is equal to delta K. So suppose that, for example, if you take any object from any position xi and it can be displaced by applying some conservative force Fx to another position xf, then what will be the amount of the total potential energy stored in the object? We can explain it as suppose that the initial position of the object is xi and the final position of the object is taking from here is xf. So we can rewrite it as, if we take the integration of this, then as we know that negative of dvx, as we know that at this point if the total potential energy stored in the object is Vxi, and at this position the potential energy stored in the object becomes Vxf. So at here the work is done by the conservative force, so the position as at we are saying that the integration is taking under displacement, so at initial position this is xi, and at the final position this becomes xf. So after integrating it we can easily obtain that Vxf, as we know that differentiation of this integration becomes cancel each other, it means this becomes Vx. So putting the upper limit then minus of lower limit, so this becomes minus of Vxf minus Vxi is equal to integration xi to xf fx dx. Okay, so it can be rewritten as, if we multiply by the minus sign, then we get Vxi minus of Vxf, Vxi minus of Vxf is equal to integration xi to xf fx dx. So if we represent this Vxi as Vi, this is the initial potential energy, and Vxf as Vf, that is the final potential energy. So we can rewrite it as xi to xf fx dx. And we well know about from the work energy theorem, this integration from xi to xf fx dx is always equal to the amount of work done under this conservative force. So this Vi minus Vf will be equal to the amount of work done. It means the work done is stored in the form of the change in potential energy. It means if we take the minus sign from outside, then we get Vf minus Vi is equal to W. So minus of delta V is equal to W. It means the negative of the change in potential energy is equal to the amount of work done by the conservative force. So this is a particular concept related to conservative force and the potential energy and the work done by the conservative force. Now let us talk about the conservation of the mechanical energy stored in any object under conservative force. Okay, so let us talk about conservation of mechanical energy. Suppose that we have any object of mass m, and this can be moved from one position to another position with the help of an conservative force, any conservative force like Fx, from one position to another position. Then if the initial position is taken as xi and the final position is taken as xf, then if the total kinetic energy at this position is assumed as ki and the total kinetic energy assumed at final position is kf, similarly the potential energy at this is Vi and potential energy at this position is Vf. So if object changes its position from xi to xf, then what amount of the change in kinetic energy occurs? So change in kinetic energy is equal to delta k, and this is equal to kf minus ki. And if we talk about the change in potential energy during changing its position from xi to xf is delta v, then delta v is also equal to the final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. Now let us relate these two, change in kinetic energy and potential energy. It means total mechanical energy of any object during displacement. Suppose that if any object is moving from one position to another position, then the amount of change in kinetic energy of that object can be expressed as the integration from xi to xf fx dot dx. And also the change in negative of the change in potential energy can be expressed as xi to xf fx dot dx if this work is done under the conservative force. Okay, as we have discussed earlier before this. So from here and here we can easily obtain that the RHS of these two equations are same, so the LHS will also be equal. So from here we get that delta K is equal to minus of delta V. So from here we get delta K plus delta V is equal to 0. So this equation represents that the change in kinetic energy of any object plus change in potential energy of that object is always equal to 0. It means when there is a change in kinetic energy of any object, then there will be also change in potential energy of that object. It means when there is a decrement in the kinetic energy, then there will be same amount of increment in the potential energy. Similarly, if there is a increment in any kinetic energy of the object, then there will be same amount of potential energy in the form of decrement, so that the sum of the increment and the decrement is always equal to 0. It means the total change in the kinetic and potential energy is equal to 0. So this can be rewritten as the total change in the kinetic plus potential is equal to 0. So from here we can easily observe that the total change in the kinetic and potential energy of any object is 0. It means the total kinetic and potential of any object at every instant of time at every position is constant. It means K plus V of any object is constant, and we can explain it as the sum of the kinetic energy and the potential energy of any object at every instant of time and every instant of position is always conserved, because this is constant. This cannot be vary with respect to time and with respect to position also. Okay. So we can easily find out that the total mechanical energy of any isolated system which is moving under the conservative force, the total sum of kinetic and potential energy of that object is conserved. It means total mechanical energy of that object is conserved. Okay, so this is all about the conservation of the mechanical energy. Now we can explain it in the form of gravitational potential energy. So let us start our discussion about mechanical energy of any falling object. Suppose that we have any object of mass m at this point, which is placed at an altitude of capital H from the Earth's surface, and at this position the velocity of the object is considered as 0, and we assume that this object is released freely from this point, and this object is falling down in vertically downward direction. So at any another position, if the object reached at this position whose altitude from the Earth's surface is remained at H, then if we talk about the total energy stored in the object at this position, suppose that this position is P, this one is Q, and when object reached at just the Earth's surface just before touching the ground, that is R position. So the total energy stored in the object at P and total energy stored in the object at Q and total mechanical energy stored in the object just before touching the ground, that means at R, are equal or not. We can explain it carefully. If the total mechanical energy of any falling object is considered as conserved, then we can see that E at P is equal to E at Q is equal to E at R. So let us prove that this is equal or not. Now if you want to calculate what will be the value of E at P, then we can easily express this in the form of the potential energy, that is the force that is gravitational force acting downward, that is mg, and the altitude, that is h. So total potential energy stored in the object at the point P is mgh. Now if you want to calculate what will be the value of the total potential energy when the object falls down and reached at any point Q. So what will be the total energy stored in this object at this position? So is at this position there will be some kinetic energy stored in that object. So suppose that at this height, if the velocity attained by the object is Vh, then there will be some kinetic energy, that is half of mvh square, and plus some potential energy, that is mg small h. mg small h. This is the potential energy. So from here we can obtain that what will be the value of this Vh. Suppose that when the object is released from here and object reached at this point, then how much displacement created by that object during falling? This will be equal to h minus h. Okay, so this is the amount of displacement which can be covered by the object during falling from P to Q. So we can calculate it Vh like this according to third equation of motion. So Vh square, this is the final velocity, u square plus 2g into total displacement, that is h minus h. So from here if we put u as 0, then we get 2g h minus h. So we get Vh square is equal to twice of g h minus h. So if we put the value of this Vh at here, then we get 2g h minus h plus mgh. After solving it, we get mg capital H minus of mgh plus mgh. So from here we get mgh. It means total energy, total mechanical energy in the object at point Q is also as mgh as in the first case. Okay, so energy at position P is just equivalent to the energy at Q. Now let us check the total energy at position R. So if R is just above the ground, it means just touching the ground. So how much displacement created by the object during falling from P to R? This will be equal to h. So at that point what will be the velocity? So if we take this as v naught, then v naught square equal to u square plus 2gh. So from here we get v naught square equal to twice of gh. So if we calculate the E at R, then we get that the displacement from the earth surface of the object is 0, so the potential energy becomes 0. So at this point total energy will be stored as the kinetic energy, so potential energy is equal to 0. So if we put the value of this v square from here, then we get twice of gh. So this also provides us the value of ER as mgh. It means from all these three equations we have seen that the total mechanical energy stored in the object at position P, Q and R are always same. So from here we conclude that if object changes any position during falling down and moving under conservative force, then the total mechanical energy of that object at every position is always conserved. Okay, so this is all about the conservation of mechanical energy of any object freely falling down. Now this is all about today's topic. Tomorrow we will discuss the circular motion in vertical plane. Till now, take care. Thank you.